Sunday gratitude hour. Oh, I have to fix my microphone. Watch your ears for a second, whoever's listening. Oh, Heather's here. Hi, Heather. Sorry about all the crunching you're about to hear. Okay. Oh, this is challenging. Okay. Okay. Sorry about this. I know you're probably hearing the. See if I can get this on. I should have put this on before. There we go. Okay. Got it. Got my Hellfire Club shirt on. I'm all queued up here. Hello, hello. Welcome to Gratitude Hour. Thank you so much for joining me, those watching live, and thanks for those who are watching on the replay. I'm so happy you're here. Gratitude Hour is all about learning and sharing, but it's also about counting our blessings and about appreciating everything that we've been given. This is a soft, gentle, friendly place that you can just land and relax and chat with friends and have an interesting discussion. So you are more than welcome to be here. Thank you so much. So yeah, we appreciate the good and the bad, I wanted to say, because, well, the good is good, but the bad is good too, because it helps us to be more self-aware, more self-loving, and it helps us to understand ourselves more, maybe other people's behavior more. So we appreciate the good and the bad, right? Not always the bad. Oh gosh. Hey, Septina's here too. Heather and Septina, you're both here. Thank you so much, girls. I love my ladies. Okay, there's a movie with Melissa McCarthy. You guys know who she is. She's hilarious. Where she plays a spy. Oh no, it's not that one. It's the one where she goes back to school. I forget what it's called. Life of the Party, maybe. And that other Saturday Night Live woman whose name I can never remember. She looks like almost Spanish. She's got big lips. She's got a lot of freckles. I think she's mixed race. I'm not sure. But she's so hilarious too. And there's a point where Melissa McCarthy's character, who got dumped by her husband, like that, she decides to go back to school, and she meets this young guy and she hooks up with him, right? And the young guy is actually the son of the woman who stole her husband away. So they're all laughing about it after. And this actress, whose name I cannot remember, she goes, "That's my lady. That's my woman." Because she's so proud of her, and she starts crying. And every time I see that, I laugh so loud. So when I said, "Thank you, ladies, for being here. You're my ladies. Thank you so much." That made me laugh. I don't know if it would make you laugh. I'm going to try to find the name of that actress. Hold on. I think that the movie is called Life of the Party. Oh, I hate typing with one hand. Back to the, what do they call it? Picking and poking. I don't know what it's called. Her name is, if it will load. Where is she? Maya Rudolph. That's her name. She's so funny. Her and Melissa McCarthy are so funny together. They do a lot together. They were in Saturday Night Live together, right? Or was Melissa McCarthy in Saturday Night Live? I'm not sure. All right. So, yeah, I know Melissa McCarthy is so funny. So funny, Septina. Oh my gosh. She's my lady. My lady. That's my woman. Oh gosh, too funny. All right, so let's take care of business first. I've been lucky. I did not have to go out for 2 weeks. I have an appointment this week to see Dr. Gorgeous, and they're going to take the cast off. I've had it on for 2 weeks. Tomorrow it'll have been on for 2 weeks. I can't wait to get it off. And apparently, if things go well, they're going to pull the stitches out and maybe pull one of the pins up and snip the top off. Yikes. And give me a removable cast so I can finally actually wash my hand. Oh my God. Yeah, Septina Bridesmaids, that whole cat, they were all hilarious in there. That other woman too, I think she starred in it. She's been in a lot of movies too, and she's really funny. I love to find good, funny women comics because for the longest time there, I don't know, maybe it was the comedians that I was watching, but I was leaning towards the male comedians because I thought they were funny. Did you just lose me, guys? Something popped up on my screen and I missed it. I'm not sure if you just lost me or not. But if you can still see me, can you let me know? Um, yeah, they were all in SNL, and Bridesmaids was so funny. Okay. Oh, you're cleaning? Oh, I hope you're not doing a lot of cleaning. All right. Catch up with me later, okay, hon? Pickled cabbage sounds good. Yum, yum, yum. I can't make cabbage stuff because I can't chew it. I look really tired, eh? Oh my gosh. I just noticed that. Oh my God. Lucy Darling. What is that? Or who is that? I don't know who that is. I have to look that up, Heather. Lucy Darling. Who is Lucy Darling? Is it a character? Lucy Darling comedian. Oh, okay. I'll have to look her up. I never heard of her before. She's a stand-up comic. Anyway, okay. Thank you. Hear ya. See ya. Okay. You're my lady. So, yes, what was I saying? Yeah, because for the longest time there, a lot of the women comics, they were just into telling really dirty jokes. And, like Janine Garofalo, when she started, she was all about that. And what was the other one called? There was another one. She has long black hair and black eyes, and all she did was swear throughout her acts and stuff. And I was just like, all these women were kind of like that. But then I noticed in the late 90s, a lot of women comedians were coming out and they were doing clean comedy, which I really love. I love clean comedy. I don't think anyone should get a laugh just because they used a swear word. Not that I'm against swearing and stuff like that, but you know what I mean? So I was watching a lot of male comics, but now there's a lot of nice, really funny females coming out for sure. She's a magician and a comic. Okay, I'm going to have to look her up. There was a guy, I think he's passed away now. His name was the great, I'm not remembering names now, but he was a magician and a comic too, and he was hilarious. And I'm telling you this because why am I telling you? You're never going to find him because I can't give you his name. Hey, Blackjack, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. I was just saying my hand is still in a cast. It's going to be looked at this week. And hopefully get the stitches removed and hopefully get a removable cast. And then it's just appointment by appointment. We're going to have to see how it goes after that. So I don't know. But I can do this. I can feel that I'm doing this. I can't move it this way, but I can feel the tip. I can feel that under there. I'm actually moving it right now and it doesn't hurt. But I constantly have pins and needles, which is weird. So Margaret Cho. Yeah, she was vulgar too. Vulgar is the word I was looking for. Like everyone has their own style of comedy, but I don't think it's the only person I think who's funny when he swears in his comic stand-up comic routines is Eddie Murphy. I don't know why, but he has this delivery and I laugh whenever he swears. But when others do it, it's almost like you're trying to get a laugh by saying the word shit, or something like that. And people laugh. I don't know why they F word, ha ha ha. No, I'm not into that at all. I know it is great news. I'm hoping that once the pins, because I realize, there's a pin directly right down from the tip of my finger to the bottom. So I can't move it like this, even if I wanted to try. I can feel like I can move it like that, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't. I don't want to push it. Plus, I had I'm using this hand so much more now and my right arm more that I'm noticing that it's getting tired. and I'm dropping things. And unfortunately, I was trying to use a pair of pliers because some of you know I have well water and I have iron bacteria in the water, which makes everything orange and slimy. So once in a while, the filter of the washing machine has to be emptied out, or else the water trickles in and it just stops working during the wash cycle. So every, like, I don't know, 10 washes or something, I got to pull the impossible to pull out filter that they put into the washing machine. And I need pliers to do that. So I'm pulling at it with the pliers, and my hands sort of loosened and the pliers were going to fall. And just by natural reaction, I went like this with my hand to try to catch, and it landed right bang on the top. And I howled. Like, you may have heard me. If you heard someone howling on Wednesday afternoon last week, that was me, all the way from Canada. So it hurt so bad. And I was like, oh God, Rain, don't tell me you hurt yourself further. But the pain went away after a little while. So I'm hoping that I didn't do anything stupid there. But I've got to be super extra. I have a permanent bruise. Can you see it here? That's a bruise from me holding things down with my arm. You know, like if I'm holding down a carrot, so I'm chopping a carrot with my right hand and I'm holding it down with this hand, and I just, things like that. I'm holding things and it's like a permanent bruise. It's awful. George Carlin and Robin Williams. Yeah, Robin Williams, he was very vulgar. But George Carlin, I think he was funny until he started talking politics, and then I couldn't stand him anymore. I am right-handed, Blackjack, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Or else I don't know what I would have done, really. Like, you're so used to, you know, using your dominant hand. Like, how would I wouldn't know what to do, honestly. I know you always hit the spot you don't want to. I know, it's crazy. You guys, my timer just went off. I have to put my bread in the oven. I'll tell you all about my morning in a second here. I did a lot today. Okay. So, sorry about that. I did so much. I just wanted to get a lot done today, just in case I'm in pain tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to do much. So I made 2 loaves of whole wheat bread. I kneaded them with one hand, and oh, that hurt. That hurt a lot. I made a week's worth of soup. I'm totally into this curry soup right now. It's called mulligatawny. It's made with vegetables and a lot of curry and some thyme. And usually you put chicken and rice, but I don't. I put fish instead, and it's really, really good. And I blend it, and it's like, it's warming. It's got ginger in it. It's really, really good. I split some wood today, and I cracked some more kindling today. So I have a whole bunch of wood for the rest of the week, just in case I'm in pain and I can't do it. And I was very careful. One-handed, this hand behind my back, so it wouldn't go near it. So I did a lot today. But yeah, I wanted to get the bread in. The soup is done, and then I can relax after gratitude hour. I'm going to wind down my week, maybe read some books. I don't know. It's Sunday evenings are so, I don't know. They're just so relaxing for me, you know? I know, Blackjack, I have to be very careful. And there's something else too. I was watching an interview with someone, and he was talking about how, you know, how when people get older, if they break a bone like a hip, the system isn't as young as it used to be, and it doesn't recover as quickly. And a lot of people will pass away from breaking a hip because they're never able to heal. And he was saying the one thing you have to tell yourself as you get older is don't ever fall down. And when he said that, the host of the podcast was like, well, how do you do that? How can you ensure that you never fall down? And he's like, you have to watch what you're doing every step of the way as you get older, because if you fall down, you could potentially not recover from it. So that's one of the things I was thinking of as the pliers were hitting my hand. And as I was dropping things with this hand, like, I have to start being a lot more mindful and careful. I mean, I'm not old yet, but I'm in my late 50s. And, you know, I've noticed that I've slowed down a little bit. And I've noticed that it takes me a little longer to get over a cold and things like that. So I want to be healthy as I reach 110 years old. That's what I plan on, I plan on living till 110 years old. All right. So what I'm going to do now is every gratitude hour, now I like to start with a little bit of an exercise. So I'm going to put up a little visual here so you can look at it as you're listening to my voice. It's going to be maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and it's sort of the theme of what I'm going to be talking about here on Gratitude Hour. If you want to close your eyes and listen to my voice, please go ahead and do that. But if you want to keep your eyes open, I'll put a nice little visual up for you here. And it is right here. Okay, so let me get that going. Just a little bit of rain if you want to watch the rain falling. So why don't we start off by taking some deep breaths just to relax ourselves and to try to clear our minds. Just take a deep inhale, hold it at the top for a few seconds, and then exhale a little longer than you inhaled. This type of breathing, it really promotes the parasympathetic nervous system, which creates relaxation and it reduces stress. So I'm going to take about 3 breaths this way. So just take a few breaths. So now we're nice and relaxed, and I'd like you to think about a time when you lost your temper. You saw something that enraged you, someone said something unfair to you, or you did something that frustrated you. How did you react when you lost your temper? What did you say? Or did you say anything? What did you do? Did you react impulsively? Or did you do nothing and swallow that anger? And further, did this anger turn into rage? Did it turn into tears? How long did you hold on to this anger? Were you able to calm yourself down and make a wise decision with regards to a response? Or did you just decide to be silent and walk away? I'd like you to think about this for a few moments because we will be talking about anger today. How do you react to anger? Does it depend on the situation, the person? Just think about that. Now, if your eyes were closed, feel free to slowly open them, shake your arms out a little bit, stretch. Just come back to the here and now. And tell me, how did that feel? Did it bring back the situation? Did it make you think about your reaction or your non-reaction? Feel free to share anything in the chat, and I'll share what I just went through while I was doing this. And it's interesting. Just let me, well, this is still going, this nice little visual. It's still going for another few minutes, so I'll leave it going. As I was talking to you, asking you to think about things and visualize, a memory popped into my head. And this was a memory that happened, oh boy, 40 years ago. I think I was 17 or 18. I was working at a deli. It was called Cantor Bagel in Montreal. That's when I fell in love with bagels, by the way. Oh my gosh, bagels and cream cheese. I was hired to work this little lunch area where there were maybe, I don't know, 10 tables, had a few chairs with each table. And most of the clientele came either during, before breakfast, like between 6 and 7, or during the lunch hour. It was mostly construction workers who worked in the area, and they all came in for, because it was fast service, like it was quick. My whole, like, the amount of tips that I made was made during the 1 hour during breakfast and the 1 hour during lunch. So I would take their orders and I would walk to the back of the deli and give it to the cook. And this cook, let me just unshare this now because the visual's over. There we go. This cook, I remember his name too. His name was Tim. He was the biggest, okay, insert your favorite expletive right now. He was the biggest one of those I had never, ever met in my life. And he was so entitled. He treated the staff like crap. But he was a part owner, so there was nothing you could do. I remember one time I did stand up to him, but I carefully stood up to him and asked him not to talk to me the way he talked to me. And what he said to me was so nasty, so loud that everyone heard. My rage, my anger went right through the roof. But I didn't react because I didn't want to get fired. So not in a good way did I react, but I swallowed down my anger. And what happened was I finished my shift, but my blood pressure was so high. My face and my arms were bright red during the rest of my shift. And I remember the customers who were there, they heard everything that happened and they saw me like turning bright red and, probably like the veins in my face and neck popping out. And they were like, "Are you okay? You're bright red." They were actually concerned about me. And I brushed it off and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's hot in here." I was just saying that, but my heart was racing. I had a stomach ache. I was having trouble breathing. I was like trying to choke back tears because I was so humiliated. He called me from the whole clientele. Um, I did go to the doctor after my shift though, but remember this was back in the 80s. Those were the days that you could walk into a doctor's office and he would see you. Not like now. So he checked my blood pressure and he said it was really, really high. And he was worried and he thought maybe I should go to the hospital for further tests. And eventually I told him what happened. And he's like, "Rain, you have to find a way to control your anger." And this was true. I did have to find a way to better release my anger, not to control my anger because I didn't really do anything about it. But this is a huge example, I think, of how anger can actually affect you physically. Ouch. And it's weird because I haven't thought about this probably since it happened. It just kind of popped into my head as I was saying to you guys, take a moment, think about the last time you lost your temper. So, I guess as you can gather today, I want to talk a little bit about anger because I've been going through the stages of grief, and anger is one of the stages that lasted a very long time for me, and it pops up more than any of the others do now. It's not as bad as it was at first. It was at first after he died, it was like a rage fest. I was so angry. I had to get in the car and drive far away and put my head in a pillow and scream as loud as I could to release it. It was like a primal scream that that was the only way I knew how to release my anger. But, it can be a relief when you do that, but I don't know if it's always good to do that. I'm not sure. So let me see here. Heather says, I got into a verbal argument with someone a few weeks ago and it was unfortunate, but I released so much pent up emotions, like 2 years worth almost. Wow. You release the emotions with the person, is what you mean? So something was brewing for a couple of years with you? Sometimes you just got to let the person have it. Not that they deserve, no one deserves any anger thrown at them, but sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. Releasing strong emotions is so important. It is. Every emotion needs to be released. And when it's a positive emotion, we don't think twice about releasing it. When we're happy, we'll smile, we'll say nice things to people, we'll laugh, we'll giggle, we'll dance around, we'll do goofy things when we're happy. We don't even think twice about it. But when it comes to what is classified as a negative emotion, anger, fear, disappointment, embarrassment, we think twice about, showing that emotion, and we shouldn't. I mean, it has to be done in a healthy way, but for some reason we stop ourselves, and I've never understood that. Heather says it was a different situation I can't go into on here, but someone said something to me and it triggered me and it all came out. Yeah, that happens. That's happened to me too. I can't understand what you went through yourself because obviously all of our experiences are our own, but I can definitely relate to that. That happened to me too a little while back. It triggered something in me with that person, and I let it all out. I let it all out. I wasn't it, but it came out kind of in a sad way. It didn't come out as anger because I think that with me anyway, a lot of anger is based on fear and sadness. I noticed that, when I get angry about something, I always ask myself why I'm angry about it, because I try to dig deeper into what it's all about, because I have a tendency to hold on to anger, and I don't want to be a person like that. I don't want to hold on to things and be resentful and all that, because it actually makes you sick. And I'm going to talk about that a little later. Blackjack says, how much longer did you work at that bagel shop? Did he ever apologize? He never apologized. I worked at the bagel shop until the summer, because I was working to try to put myself through university, and I needed the job because it was perfect with my schedule with all my classes. But as soon as the semester was over, I told him, you know what? Here's the 2-finger salute, you fat ass. Fat ass. He was fat. Oh, he was. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything more about Timmy. Yeah, he didn't apologize, Blackjack. I knew what you were saying, but he didn't apologize. But a lot of the times when you're younger, I was only 17. It's easy to find another job, but when you have a job I actually liked the customers and they liked me, and the other boss, his name was Eddie Cantor, funnily enough, because there was an old singer comedian named Eddie Cantor way back from the 30s and 40s, but his name was Eddie Cantor, so it was Cantor Bagel, and Tim was his brother-in-law, and that's why I think he had the job as the cook there. But Eddie loved me because the clientele loved me because I was fast and they got all the right orders. I got lots of tips, so I was always very, very happy, very nice and everything. And Eddie was making good money. So that was another thing. Like, I didn't want to leave that job just because of that guy. And eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. But I told Eddie why, because he didn't want me to leave. And I told him why. And I don't know, he never fired his brother-in-law, but I'm sure I'm not the first one who left because of that guy. But that happens a lot in the restaurant world, I think. I worked at a place for 5 to 7 years, I think, as a bartender. And my manager was Queen Bee, like Queen Bee. And I sucked up to her like you would not believe. These lips were like huge. And that was the only way that I could actually survive working with her. She didn't treat me badly when I sucked up to her. She was that type of person. Your fingers drunk, yeah. Well, when you need to apologize instead of apologize, maybe your fingers, need a little bit of coffee. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Oh God, the jobs that I had. But yeah, I remember that my face bright red like that. And even, as after my husband passed away, my late husband passed away, I actually went to the doctor a couple of days later. It was just out of the blue because I don't know if you guys have a family doctor. Blackjack, you know how hard it is in Canada to get a family doctor. And I moved to New Brunswick just in 2020. So I had been on a waiting list from a clinic saying, well, we've got a family doctor for you. And I was just like, wow, that is timing. Is that timing or what? So they scheduled me an appointment the next day. And when I went in, they were supposed to do just a checkup and this and that. And I broke down in tears and I was like, my husband died 2 days ago. And they were all like, the nurses came in, they're like, okay, we have to deal with this immediately. And so like they helped me, they checked my blood pressure. I was angry about it. And they said my blood pressure was high. So that was interesting too. Like when I get angry, my blood pressure just goes through the roof. Friends, I have to get up again. I can see my bread in the oven. I have to put a piece of foil on top because I don't want the bread to burn. Okay. So I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. In 25 minutes, I have to go back and take the bread out of the oven. So I didn't time this very well. All right. So why don't I start talking about the topic that I wanted to talk about? I was saying before that I get physical reactions to anger, such as high blood pressure and stomach aches, and feeling like my heart's racing, and excuse me, and I can't breathe very well. My chest gets very tight. But um, and I used to do the primal screams to try to get the anger out of my system, and it did provide relief, but you know it got a lot of frustration and sadness out of me, and fear out of my present sort of situation when I would do those primal screams. And it's interesting because in one of my classes that I'm taking for my psychology diploma, the professor was actually talking about anger recently. And he was saying that when your temper flares up, it's like your brain releases dopamine, giving you a sense of satisfaction and pleasure. Isn't that crazy? And he said that when you're angry, your brain is so happy about it, it's like it's throwing a party. And what did he say? He said, and rage is the guest of honor. I think he said that. He said he read that in a book somewhere. But that's interesting, to know that it's like something happens in your amygdala that it just releases dopamine when you start to get angry. And I wanted to learn more about this, and I'm starting to learn more about it. I signed up for an anger management class because I wanted to learn more about that kind of thing. And I'm almost through it, and I learned a lot, and I'm going to share some of that with you guys today. It is interesting, Blackjack, about the dopamine release. And the problem with anger and any habit or behavior that isn't necessarily good for us in the long run, um, it's our brains are rewarding us for doing these things, and that's when it becomes a bad habit. There's a reason why it's called rageaholics, right? And as I'm learning psychology, I'm learning that so much has to do with the brain and how it releases certain hormones and parts of the brain reacting to the behavior that we're displaying. It's fascinating. I feel like, is it too late for me to go into neuroscience and be a brain doctor. I just, I think it's just so fascinating. And when I was a kid, I was taught that growing up, that anger is bad. You do not show anger. Anger is something that you hide. I don't think this served me well because I was basically taught that anger was a sin. And if I showed anger, I would be punished. So I developed the habit of pushing my anger down. And of course, this caused, a lot of problems in many areas of my life, including having ongoing digestive issues and um, anxiety, feeling unempowered, even becoming a people pleaser because I didn't want to show my anger. I didn't want any conflict in my life. So, because I couldn't handle the anger that I felt. So there was weird, like, when I felt angry, I felt guilty for feeling angry. But then I wouldn't show anger and I wouldn't stand up for myself. And I became a people pleaser. And I taught people that they could walk all over me. And I think this was basically from the idea that as a child during your formative years, that if you're taught that anger is a sin, especially I was brought up in a fundamentalist Christian household, which was terrifying. I was taught that I would be punished if I showed anger and I would rot in hell. And as a kid, you're very open to that kind of thing. You have an imagination, and that scared the hell out of me. Pardon my pun, scared the hell out of me. But when you feel anger, you feel kind of strong and in charge, and it gives you a sense of power. Now, we always say with great power comes great responsibility, right? So we can't let that anger get out of control. hmm Blackjack, you're right. It's our primal behavior, and it goes way, way back to the caveman days. It's very fascinating. So, if anger becomes a habit, your brain is rewarding you for being angry, and that's not a good thing. And I kind of experienced that from my late husband, who went from 0 to 1,000 in like a second with his rage. It always took me aback at how quickly he would become enraged and take all of his anger out on me. And in those cases, I never got angry back because, frankly, I was scared. I remember the last month before he died, I think it was the first time I actually gave him, quote unquote, a taste of his own medicine when he was yelling at me. And he was shocked and it enraged him even more. But at that point, I didn't care. And I told him if he was going to be verbally and emotionally abusive to me, he might as well just get it right back at this point. Of course, that's not who I am. So I didn't really do that. But there was that one instance where I couldn't take it anymore. And I just screamed at him. And it felt good. My brain was releasing dopamine as it was happening. In hindsight, I'm thinking about that. But knowing what I know now about the brain and how good it feels, I want to make sure that I reward myself for not being short-tempered. So some of the courses that I'm taking is, I mentioned I'm starting a course on anger management, and I'm pretty much all the way through it. And I do want to share some of the things that I've learned from that because I think that they can be helpful in any situation with anyone who either has an anger problem, meaning they go from 0 to a million in a second with rage, or they feel like they can't show their anger and they hold it all inside. We have to be able to release our anger in a healthy way. Because anger can destroy relationships, and I'm sure we can all agree to that. Anger can hurt people. Anger can kill people. I watch a lot of true crime on YouTube, and there was one show I was watching where a psychologist was mentioning that most of the murders in England at the time of the documentary were committed by people who were suddenly enraged, who acted impulsively with aggression and violence to the point where they killed another person. That's a scary statistic. I just noticed there is someone new in the chat, and I believe her name is Miss Tarot D. Hi, Miss Tarot D. It's been a while. Thank you so much for popping in the chat. I'm just going to back up a little bit. Blackjack said, Yeah, I was raised Catholic in Montreal and Quebec City. Well, Montreal, well, Quebec in general, you can't drive 2 blocks without seeing a Roman Catholic church, right? So most people in Quebec were brought up Roman Catholic for sure. Yeah, I know, I was too. Montreal. So, hello, my dear. How are you? I've missed you. Oh, thank you. You love the new haircut. I had to cut that man right out of my hair. It was great, but Miss Tarody, I don't know if you know, I broke my finger. So I'm in a cast. It happened almost a month ago. Oh my God, it happened March 18th. And I had to have surgery to rebuild it. There are 3 pins in my finger right now. And this week I'm going back to the surgeon, who, by the way, has the most beautiful eyes. He's easy to look at. And he's hopefully going to take the stitches out and give me a removable cast. But the point I'm making is that I have not been able to cut my bangs or trim my hair. So it's kind of growing out. I feel like a hippie. But I love it. I was able to dye it though. One-handed dye job. That was good. Quietly Aligned, hello. You're late to the party. Thank you for joining. It's so nice to see you again. Quietly Aligned. I've Quietly Aligned joined our chat a couple of weeks ago. Thank you and welcome. Welcome. I'm so happy that you came back. Miss Tarot D says, "Oh no, good thing you had all that wood cut for the winter done." Yeah, well, Miss Tarot D, that's how I did it. That's sledgehammer, and I crushed my finger. I still have to do, you know, I have my kindling right next to me. I have to use the kindling cracker to get the wood this thin. So I have to use it every 3 or 4 days anyway. But now I'm especially careful when I do it, because there was a point where the doctor, I call him Dr. Blue Eyes, he said that it might have to be amputated. And I was like, no, I need my finger. I want my finger. So it looks like I won't have to get it amputated, but we're taking it appointment by appointment to see, you know, the worst. I think the worst is over. I don't know. I'm going to find out this week when they take the cast off and see how my Frankensteinish finger looks like. Oh my gosh. Quietly Aligned says, "I'm not sure if it's my connection, but you cut out here and there. It's not bad, but wanted to mention it." Oh, okay. Yeah. I was having trouble with my satellite dish. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch over to my phone. Thank you for mentioning that, Quietly Aligned. I appreciate it. It always happens during gratitude hour. I don't know why. I think maybe because there's a lot of people up here and some other people have Starlink. I have Starlink. So Miss Tarody says, "What? Are you reacting to the amputation thing?" Yeah, I know. Gosh. Okay, let me see if I can switch over here. Oh, I think I know what happened. My phone is on Wi-Fi, and I just got a text message. I think every time I get a text message, or if my phone's trying to update or something, what happens is I lose my connection on Starlink. I think that's what it's all about. So, can you let me know if you guys can hear me? If you can see me? I'll just wait for a moment. Let's see. Can you let me know in the chat, guys, if you can? Okay, I think I'm okay. 10 minutes, I think, because I'm baking bread and it smells. Oh, I just got cut out again, right? Didn't I just get cut out again? Something popped up on my screen saying that my connection was bad. Well, I guess it's better than what I had before, right? So I'm grateful. But I would like to just continue what I was saying about the, oh, Quietly Aligned says yes, but it was just buffering for a moment, but it's not terrible. Okay. So that's odd because, you know, I called what I used to call my barnyard internet when I was with Bell Canada for Wi-Fi. It was just so slow that I couldn't do any live streams. And it would take me a week or two to upload like a 50 gig video that I would make. So I just gave up on doing good quality videos for a while. But then Starlink came into my area in February and I hooked up with Starlink. Everything is uploading so fast. My download speed is so fast. But this is the third gratitude hour in the last 4 where I'm having trouble with buffering. So I'm so sorry about that, friends. I will never have good internet because I live rural. So what can you do? Anyway, what I was talking about, the negative health benefits of anger, with chronic anger, it's associated with heart problems and with blood pressure problems and with a weakened immune system. It increases your stress. When you're angry all the time, your self-esteem probably isn't at its best, and it can cause depression and anxiety. So yeah, I guess I'm having trouble with my connection here. You guys, I'm going to try something, okay? I'm going to put my phone on and see. You might lose me for a second here, okay? Hellfire Club. Bell. Yeah, Ma Bell. Okay, guys, you might lose me for a second. I hope this works. I'm going to try something here. Okay, I should be back now. I just switched to my phone instead of Starlink. So can you guys let me know? I guess you're helping me here right now. Can you let me know if it's slower or if it's better or if it's the same, if it doesn't make a difference? So I'm back now, but quietly, Align, is the connection worse or is it better or is it the same? If you can let me know, I would appreciate that. So far, no buffering. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. I hate this because, I'm doing a live stream. It should be good quality because it gets annoying if it's buffering and you're cutting out and stuff like that. Nobody wants to watch that. It's better for you, Blackjack? Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So maybe next time I'll just keep it on my phone. Why not, right? So I just wanted to continue what I was saying. There are things that you can do if you feel like you need help with your anger. And this is all from the anger management course that I started taking maybe 3 days ago, and I'm almost all through it. There's some really good anger management skills, and I want to share a slide with you here. I've got 10 tips that I want to share with you here. And I'm going to go through these tips with you. The screen's going to go black for a moment because that's what it does. Okay, so this is the first of the 5 anger management skills that you can try to educate yourself on, try to practice perhaps. The first one is to list your triggers. When you keep a list that you write down, physically write down, not type, of your anger triggers, you're basically providing yourself with more clarity and more understanding as to what is causing you to feel angry. And when you write things down, it helps you to release the emotion from your mind, and it helps you to become more self-aware. When you're aware of a trigger that causes you to feel angry, then you can start thinking about the why. Why is it causing you to feel angry? It helps you to understand better. We all want to strive for self-awareness, right? So list your triggers in writing. It does something in the brain that it releases that from your emotional being. The second thing you can do is scan your body. When you're starting to feel angry, another way to release the anger is through the skill of scanning your body. So you close your eyes and you take a deep breath and you feel where the anger is sitting. Is your jaw tight? Are your hands clenched? Just sit back and observe and see how your body is reacting to the emotion of anger. what can you do to release the anger from your physical body? For example, if you have a clenched jaw, which that's where I hold a lot of my anger, is in my jaw. I grip my teeth at night. You can relax it out. You can stretch it out, open your mouth, stretch it out, massage a little bit. You can replace your clenched hands with hands that are very relaxed, even in a prayer position. You could, instead of going like this when you're angry, you can open them up and stretch them and put them in a prayer position. I've used this skill and it works very, very well, especially when it comes to my jaw. It releases the anger from your physical body. The third is the words must and should. It's interesting how the words we use can cause us so much trouble. When we use the words must and should, we're imposing expectations and restrictions on ourselves and on other people. And when these expectations and restrictions are not met, it can lead to frustration and anger. So instead of saying, I must work out this morning, use something gentler. Maybe like, I would love to work out this morning. You see the difference? If you wake up saying, I must work out this morning, and then something happens that steals your time away and you can't find the time to work out, you may get frustrated or disappointed with yourself. And, I always say kind of jokingly, don't should all over yourself, right? Don't use the word should all over yourself. I really should work out this morning. Life gets in the way. I can't work out. I really should have worked out this morning. This causes a little bit of shame inside, doesn't it? And when you feel frustrated or disappointed or ashamed, this very easily can lead towards self-anger. And we don't want that. So I can share something personal with you, but if you'll give me a moment, I know I keep stepping away, friends, and I shouldn't have started baking bread right before the live stream, but I do have to take it out of the oven. So talk amongst yourselves, and I will be right back. Okay. You'll take a slice with lots of butter. Oh, yeah, lots of butter. Butter has a bad rap. Butter's fine for you. All right. So I made 2 loaves. One-handed kneading. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So I wanted to just share something personal with you. My late husband was someone who was not very good at communicating his emotions. And his usual emotion, and I'm talking about on the negative side, that he showed me was anger and rage. And it could have been about anything, really. I used a word that he didn't like one time. He was telling me, and this was like way back in 2014, I think. He was telling me about something, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's so weird." And I didn't say it to be insulting. I didn't say it to hurt his feelings. It was just a word that I used, weird. His face went red and he was enraged, and he told me that I should have known not to call him weird. Of course, I was taken aback. I was thinking, I didn't say this out loud, but I was thinking, I didn't call you weird. I thought the situation was weird because I thought it was the appropriate word to use. But again, I didn't say anything out loud because he was so angry. So I apologized right away and I said I would never use that word again, ever. Um, and I didn't hurt his feelings. But the thing is, when he said, I should have known, you should have known that that word would have hurt my feelings, that made me feel embarrassed and ashamed of myself. So inadvertently, by him saying, I should have known better, it made me feel bad when he used the word should, when he should all over me. And unfortunately, in this particular case, it kind of made me tippy toe even more around him. So Oh, thank you, quietly aligned. I appreciate it. I'm going to use my phone from now on for that because I think that a lot of people are on Starlink now that it's available in this area. So maybe that's why it kept cutting out on a Sunday because I do live in cottage country. So a lot of people come up for the weekend, and it's Sunday, and it's really nice out today. Actually, thank you so much for letting me know. I appreciate the feedback. So back to my list. Another anger management skill: consider the consequences. This is a big one. If you feel your anger is brewing, take a moment and ask yourself, what would be the consequences if you acted out on that anger? And I mentioned before a statistic that I'd heard about: most murders in England at the time when I saw that documentary were done by people impulsively out of anger. And these people didn't have like the wherewithal to stop themselves and take a minute and ask, what would be the consequence if I acted on this? And you know, what would happen if I punched this person in the face, or if I shot this gun, or if I used this knife? It's kind of scary. Um, I also watched a documentary where there was a young man who'd been drinking at a bar. I think he was only 18 in the documentary. And another man disrespected him. Let's say boys, because they were young, they were 18 years old. And this guy got so angry, and probably fueled by the alcohol in him, he punched him. And unfortunately, he killed the other man with one punch. And he spent the next 20 or so years in jail. And he was doing this documentary after he got out of jail. His entire life changed because of that one punch, because of that anger, of not considering the consequences, honestly, not considering the consequences that if he acted out on the anger, he could destroy his own life and destroy somebody else's life and destroy everyone who was associated with that person he killed. He lives with this guilt. The people who lost this young man live with their pain. It's I always talk about the ripple effect, but it is a ripple effect, and we have to be really, really careful. You know, if you honestly consider the consequences of your anger, this might help you to make a wiser decision. And number 5 on this list is write yourself a note. This could be something you do after you consider the consequences of how you might react, what the consequences would be if you react. You can write a really meaningful letter to yourself, reminding you of why it's so important to remain calm and collected. You can write out the positive consequences of choosing to maintain your composure. You could also write down what your values are out of anger. I saw way too much, what your values are. I mean, sorry, I'm misstepping here. But, oh, hey, Chloe's here. Hi, Chloe. I just saw you. I get distracted by the chat when I'm talking, and then I start mixing up my words. But Blackjack says it could be the weather overcast, but I'm not overcast here, Blackjack. It's beautiful, like a beautiful blue sky out. So I think it might be because of all the people using it. I don't know. But I'm so glad you're here, Chloe. Thank you for popping in. I'm just talking about anger, and I'm giving you tips on what you can do to hone up your anger management skills if you feel like you need to. You know, I saw way too much anger in my former relationship, and there have been times when my anger has been really triggered, but I always step back, always, and I try to consider the consequences and write to myself why I should be stepping back and making a wiser decision when it comes to reacting on anger. So I'm going to just unshare this one with you, and I'm going to share the next one with you. So this for a moment as I share this, okay? As it always does. It's probably black right now, and there you go. I'm just going to go check out the chat. Blackjack says, that's the problem today. No one thinks twice for their actions or respects to others. It's very true. I mean, what happened, Blackjack? People in the chat, what happened to humans? What happened to society? Why are we so reactive? Why is it that 95% of the people in jail are men. Why is it? There's nothing wrong with each particular man, but what is happening to our genders that are causing us to be so impulsively reactive to the point where we are committing crimes of violence that require us to be removed from society? I'm just, you've heard me say it before. Human behavior fascinates me, but it terrifies me at the same time. I've been watching a lot of, and women are not innocent either, but the statistics show that it's a men thing, that there's a lot of violence with men. And it makes me think, okay, I dove down a rabbit hole the other day, and I was thinking, how is it that men became so, hurt, that, like, so damaged, that for a lot of men, the immediate reaction is aggression? How has society warped men from the moment that they were born with their mothers, with their families, with society that puts all of this pressure on them? How is it that we have not changed that already, and that men are still in this position where they have learned or not learned how to control their emotions to the point where they do things that they regret? Like, it's like a pandemic in that gender almost, and we could go down a huge rabbit hole on that. And there was a part of me that just wanted to learn more about the male mind, and I did buy a book called The Male Brain, and it's sitting on my shelf to read, and I want to learn about it because I think a lot of the times we just blame men and say, oh, they're aggressive, they're violent, they're this, they're that. But something happened. If you think about it, something happened in their upbringing, in the way that they were taught how to live in society, that created this damage in them. And it's sad. It breaks my heart to know that men are in these positions where this is what they feel they have to do. And it's just, I don't know. Am I just speaking out of turn here? I just feel it's something that I want to learn more about. I have so much empathy for men. I really, really do. I really, really do. I'm getting emotional here. Food, air, water, cell phones. Sorry, Blackjack, I'm not sure what you're referring to because I went on a little tangent there. Our basic needs, is that what you mean? Food, air, water, cell phones. Yeah. But I think that, I don't know, we need better male role models. There are many that are great, but we need to show men that they have other options, that they need to be brought up differently. Not the old fashioned, like, you have to be tough, you can't show your emotions, you this, you that. Because men are humans, they have emotions. I'm not going to go into that. Maybe we could talk about that some other time. But I'll get back to my anger management skills. So number 6, give yourself a timeout. Timeouts aren't just for children who have tantrums. Timeouts are for adults who have tantrums as well. When you feel like your anger is rising, intentionally go and sit somewhere that's quiet and there's no distractions. Do some breath work. And during this timeout, just a few minutes, this is how you can help yourself to calm down, and you can make a better decision rather than reacting to your anger. You can just calm down and say, okay, I'm going to respond to this in a healthy way. And then there's something called the 30-second rule. The 30-second rule is kind of like a timeout rule, but it's to be used when you're kind of in a situation where you can't walk away. If you feel very angry and you're in a conversation that you're having with somebody, you can just look at the person and say, look, I need like 20 or 30 seconds to think about what you just said, so that, I can process this. Can you please allow me that? And I promise I will respond to you. And most of the time, if you sort of bring it up that way, the other person isn't going to say, no, answer right away. They're going to allow you to just take your 20 or 30 seconds, right? So, what you can do before reacting is observe your thoughts and your emotions, just as though you're someone watching yourself from the outside, and use this time to choose a more constructive and calm reaction. This is a good skill to have because the more you practice this, the more empowered you become. And the more we were talking about the reward system, the more your brain will let you know that this is something, yeah, we're satisfied with this. So I'm going to reward you for this by releasing some dopamine. And your brain will lead you to make better choices. So this is a really, really important one, the 30-second rule. Number 8 is laugh. Okay, we all know that laughter is the best medicine, right? It's a good antidote to anger for sure. I tried using laughter when things got heated with my late husband, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes he was so enraged, and it was based on low self-esteem and fear of rejection, and just he had a lot of trouble. So sometimes the laughter worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes he thought that I was making fun of him, and I was just really trying to diffuse the situation. But like I said, sometimes it didn't work. But it did work with me after he died. I spent most of my TV time for the first 3 or 4 months after he passed away watching comedies, British comedies that always made me giggle, or stand-up comics that were just hilarious, especially when I started to feel anger towards him. I would immediately go into a playlist that I created on YouTube that had funny stand-up comics. I watched them over and over and over. And when you laugh, it disrupts that overwhelming, dramatic seriousness that you thought the anger was, right? It disrupts that. And it helps you to release endorphins and reduce stress and regain emotional control. I'm going to share something, and I hope this makes you laugh. I was reading about this skill, and the author of the text who wrote it, he followed this with a joke, but he didn't say it was a joke. He didn't prepare the reader to know that it was a joke. He wrote it as though it was part of the text. And I laughed so hard about this. He wrote this, and this is what he wrote. He said, you know, when I die, I want to go peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming in terror like his passengers did. And then I stopped for a second when I read this, and I laughed my ass off. And the next sentence that he wrote was, I really hope that you laughed at that joke. You know? And it was so funny. I laughed so hard because it was a great thing to read, because it made light of a very serious situation, or topic of anger and rage. So laughter definitely helps to diffuse anger. I would say depending on the person, but most of the time. So the ninth anger management skill that I wanted to share with you is calming sounds. You can make a practice of listening to very calming sounds like nature sounds, sounds of the forest, sounds of the rain falling, things like that. If you do these things on a regular basis, it helps to nurture your sense of peace. And this will likely naturally help anger not to build up inside. And I guess the same could be said for any mindfulness practice like meditation or yoga, or what I do every morning, which is Tai Chi. It promotes peace of mind. And where there's peace of mind, impulsive rage cannot continue to breed. And as we're doing this, we're teaching our brain what we want to be rewarded for. We're creating good habits and getting rid of the old habits that are bad. So number 10, the 10th tip that I wanted to share with you is distraction through concentration. And I really like this one a lot because I do practice this. If you engage in activities that require you to concentrate, it takes your focus off the anger. I like to read books. I like police thrillers and legal thrillers, especially, and I can't get enough of those. I get lost in those stories, and it pulls you away from the immediacy of the anger. You can do things like crossword puzzles or even physical puzzles, jigsaw puzzles. If you'd like to do things using your hands or your hand, you can do knitting or painting or needlework or drawing. Anything that requires you to concentrate will help you to build your mental strength and to maintain your composure when anger arises. It's all about practice, and your brain loves repetition. So keep doing it over and over and over, and you'll be able to manage any kind of anger that you have in you. I really believe that, because after doing this course, I started to practice some of these things when I started to feel anger, and they really, really work. They really, really work. Some may work better than others. So, just pick and choose which ones that you think might help you. But I like number 10, especially the distraction, concentration through distractions. I like that a lot. So these are some of the things that you could do to try to gain some anger management skills. And in some cases, anger is very natural and very healthy. But we have to remember that if it gets out of control, it can become a problem. I feel like I'll probably continue this discussion next week, because there are some things that I wanted to talk about with regards to anger, but I don't want to make things too long today. I wanted to talk about the healthy things. Let me just share this. To talk about how anger healthy for us, so that we don't hold it in and we don't react badly. If we find a healthy way to release our anger, it's a good thing. There are some things that you can do. I was looking ahead at my course study material that I'm going to do this week, and there are some things that you can do to further your education on anger and how to be proactive. If you feel you have an anger problem, you can do all these things on a regular basis, and it will help you. So those are the things that I will probably talk about next week as well. Anger, part 2. And we shouldn't be afraid of being angry, So, my friends, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very, very happy to have welcomed you to my live stream. I'm so sorry for the buffering problems. I think I've figured out how to fix it now, help from other people, which I really appreciate all your feedback, because, doing a live stream, I'm concentrating so much on what I'm saying and what I'm thinking. I don't notice if it's buffering or if I've lost connection or things like that. So I really appreciate you guys telling me stuff. So, Lunar Love and Light, hello. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Thank you. I don't think I've seen you before. Lunar Love and Light says, I've been lurking for quite some time and just want to say, Rain, your topics and discussions have helped me more than you'll ever know. Oh, Melly. Oh, that's you, Melly. And just the right times too. Oh, blessed be friend Melly. I remember you, Melly. I just didn't remember your handle. Melly. Hi, what do you think? Last time you saw me, I was probably hair down to here in red with a cowboy hat on. Well, if you've been lurking, you've noticed that I've cut the hair for sure. Yeah, let's not get angry like the Hulk. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. And on that note, Blackjack, I just have to say, have you seen King of Queens? I love that show. Lou Ferrigno is like a recurring character on that show as Lou Ferrigno, and they always make fun of him as the Hulk, and they always mention the Hulk and things like that. And he talks about being the Hulk. I used to watch that. Bill Bixby, right, was the name of David Baxter or David whatever. You won't like me when I'm angry. That was such a great show. I loved it. Those 70s shows. Like, I was thinking the other day, I have like 3 pins in my finger, and I'm like, I have a robotic finger at this point. There's nothing, I don't know if the nerves are working or anything. And then I started thinking about the Bionic Woman and the $6 Million Man and all those great TV shows from the 70s. And I was thinking of the Hulk too. Oh, Melly says, I love the hair. Thank you, Melly. Yeah, I wanted to do something completely radical and different. So on Christmas Eve, I had the clippers. I chopped it all off. And then sometime in January, I decided to, on the advice of a dear friend, her name is Septina. She's like, get this bleach, get this dye, do this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting rid of the red. The red was my former self. So I'm very happy to have my short blonde hair right now. Oh, thanks, Melly. Thank you so much. We all deserve to have a good transformation, you know? It's been a rough year, I'm not going to lie. I mean, oh, you know what? My battery is about to die on my computer. I forgot to plug it in. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. There we go. Sorry, you may have lost me there for a second because I had to plug in my computer. I've been so discombobulated today, I got to tell you. I think it's the finger thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the weather. I woke up early this morning, but I stayed in bed for like an hour and a half cuddling the dogs because I can't have them in bed with me anymore because, you know, if they accidentally hit me or something, I'll go through the roof with pain. The only one who gets to stay in bed with me is this one. That's baby Oscar. He gets to sleep with me because he sleeps on the pillow right next to me. And then all the other dogs kind of have to stay on the other side. I have a gate between my and the rest of the room, so they have to stay on the other side. And then, you know, I'm trying not to use the heat in the house because I'm trying to be frugal and save money because I need to cut down my expenses big time. Isn't he cute? And so it's cold in the morning and I have all my blankets around me. And then when I open up the little gate, when I wake up, they all come stampeding into the bed and, you know, they all jump around for a while and then they just jump around. I was watching that video the other day. What were they called? That Irish band. Jump up and get down. Jump, jump, jump. Everybody jump. I was thinking of that song the other day. So they would jump around on the bed and then they come and they end up cuddling and it's so warm and cozy. I was going to get up at 6 because tomorrow or the next day, I think it's the next day, I have to go to the hospital and I have to get up super early to get there. And I'm trying to train myself to get up early. And I was in bed for an hour and a half just cuddling the dogs. And it was the best feeling, the best feeling. I was watching there was a gentleman talking about creating morning habits and how to start your day well. The first thing you reach for should not be your phone. It should not be anything electronic. The first thing you reach for should be something that's cozy and happy and calming and not like a bad habit. So the first thing I reach for are my pets. And then you should tell yourself, this is going to be a great day. I choose to have a great day today. You make a choice. And then the third thing, what is the third thing? I can't remember. I have it written down. But anyway, those are the first two things. I grabbed my dogs first. So 7:30 this morning, I finally got up and they're so good. You know, they wait for me. They don't, I'm sure they have to go out and pee, but they'd rather be cuddling in bed, you know. So House of Pain, that's it. Jump up and get down. Jump, jump. My favorite line in that song, because I love Strawberry Quick. I used to. I don't eat that anymore. But remember Quick used to come in powder form when we were a kid? He was like, you make me sick, like Strawberry Quick. I'm like, what? How can Strawberry Quick make you sick? Come on. What was his name? Everlast. He's the lead rapper of House of Pain. All right. So Bill Bixby, yeah. Bill Bixby. Oh my God. David Banner, David Baxter, David Bixby, David Boxby. He changed his name every episode of the Hulk, right? Hey, Jane. I think I'm going to stick around for a while. I was going to say goodbye, but I want to hang out for a while. The bread has been baked. My beautiful soup is ready. My house smells like a deli. Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm so relaxed. I've got Ali Faye next to me. Let me show you Ali Faye. I think Heather's gone, but Ali Faye is her favorite. That's my pointer. Ali Faye Faye. Ali Faye. Oh, she's sleeping. I don't want to wake her up. Look at her. Oh no, her eyes are opening. She's so cute. And Jane, I just showed baby Oscar. I know you like cats, so I wanted to show you baby Oscar. All right, let me put this back up here. How you doing, Jane? I hope you're doing well, sweetie. Jane. And then sweet Jane. Oh, here's Miley. Here's Miley. I often call her Smiley Miley. Miley. Oh, she's a boxer pity mix. She's Smiley. Whenever she opens her mouth, it looks like she's smiling. So I call her Smiley Miley. She's such a sweet little girl. You know, I first got these rescues, most of them, over 2 years ago. And when I saw Miley, they told me she had pit bull in her. And I was grossly uninformed about pit bulls. They are so sweet and loyal. Oh my gosh. She's the sweetest little thing, isn't she? Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she is. She's so sweet. Oh my God. Oh, Jane, I'll sing to you forever. You know, that song that I sing to you, Sweet Jane, originally was the Velvet Underground, right? With Lou Reed. But the Cowboy Junkies did a beautiful rendition of it. Oh my God. And it was part of the soundtrack of Natural Born Killers. And the Cowboy Junkies were from Montreal, actually. And the lead singer went to my high school, and I knew her. And we were all so proud of them when they got big. Miley, can you back up, honey? Come on, back. There you go. I don't think there's any room, sweetheart. There's no room for you here. There's no room, Smiley. Oops. Yeah, so, you know, the Cowboy Junkie, she has such a beautiful, beautiful voice, and I can't compare to it, but I will sing to you, Jane. Heavenly wine and roses seem to whisper to me when you smile. La 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 la. There you go. Oh, I loved her hair. That Cowboy Junkie girl, she had great hair. She had nice curly hair. It was beautiful. So, yeah, quietly aligned. What? You make me sick, like strawberry quick. Some of the lines in those hip hop songs always are funny, you know? It's always like, okay, we got to find a rhyme for you make me sick. What can I say? Well, there's chocolate quick. No, but I like chocolate quick. Oh, but there's strawberry quick. Oh, I don't like strawberry quick. Sick quick. Yeah, okay, let's do that one. Makes you think about their thought process of how they write these lyrics, you know? Oh my God. Let's see. Most people are, I had a pit mix, best dog ever. Yeah. Well, you know, Jane, it's because the way, and I blame the internet for everything that's gone wrong in society these days. It's the way that people portray them. Yes, of course, there are some pit bulls who have killed people, and probably who have killed other dogs. But it's not the pit bull themselves, it's the owner that teaches them that behavior. And we were talking about Blackjack, we were talking about our primal beings before, you know, how these things are ingrained in us. Nurture or nature is the greatest debate in psychology. Are we nurtured into these behaviors, or is it a part of our innate nature, our basic instinct that we are, you know? And when you think of dogs and their instincts, we always say dogs live by instinct. They know what to do, this and that. And I'm sure that there is a strain in maybe some varieties of pit bulls because they were bred to go into pits with bulls and kill them, right? Let's be honest about that. There are a lot, it's sad how certain breeds of dogs were bred to kill other animals, but that is what it is. So is it nature or nurture? Is it a part of their instinctual self? Or is it the nurture, which isn't really nurture in this case, where the owner teaches them, likely through aggression and violence and fear, that they must attack other things? You know, I'm so, okay, we're talking about anger. I need to take the 30-second rule because I'm starting to feel my anger brew right now when I think of responsible pet owners. preach what you teach what you preach, do what you teach, right? Benny. Here's my puppy Benny. He's my puppy Benny. Oh yeah. Puppy Benny. Okay, guys, take it easy. Be careful, Benny. Oh, Benny, you have no grace. Benny has no clue. Okay. Benny, be careful, honey. Oh yeah. Okay. Benny, can you get down, sweetie? Can you get down? There's my boy. No grace. No grace. All right, let's think. Check. Check out the chat. Oh, I went a little too far. Hold on. Oh, blackjack you used to love quick? What about the strawberry one? You know, when I was in grade school, the milk program was just coming out, and this was late 70s, I guess. So a lot of us brought quick with us, little powdered form of quick in little baggies, and we'd be hiding the milk carton under. We put our quick in it like that, and everyone had chocolate quick, but I had strawberry quick, and the teacher knew what was going on, but we all hid it anyway. I love strawberry quick. Oh gosh. Melly says, I had a few pit mixes too. They are babies. It's all in how they are treated. It is. It's all in how they're treated and how they're brought up, you know? Like Miley, these were rescue dogs, and they were Miley, Lucy, who's over here. I'll show you Lucy. Hold on. You guys have seen all my dogs. This is Lucy. Hey, Lucy. I said her name, and she's wagging her tail because she says Lucy. She's a goosey. Okay, Lucy. Uh-oh, I'm getting them all uppity. Okay, Lucy, go lie down. You're a good girl. Go lie down. So Lucy is Benny's mother, and Lucy was a bait dog, unfortunately. And Miley, I'm not sure about her, but she was severely neglected and abused to the point where I won't raise my voice now. But even if I raise my voice, if I say, oh my God, really loud, Miley will look at me with her tail between her legs and she'll cower down. Like any raised voice, whether it's towards her or towards something else or just in surprise, she can't handle it. And so when I adopted these dogs, they had a lot of problems. And careful, Lucy, careful. Careful, honey. There you go. Go lie down, sweetie. You're a good girl. Go on, honey. You're so good. There she goes. When I learned that she was a pit bull mix, I thought that there would be aggression, but it was anything but. It was the complete opposite. And over the last 2 years, I got them in March of 2024. And excuse me, I've taught her a lot. She's become a lot more confident. But even now, if you know, Benny does something goofy and I say, Benny, stop, she will think I'm yelling at her and she'll run away. And I have to encourage her and say, no, it's not you, Miley. You're a good girl. You're so good. You're so good. And I have to teach her, you know, because these things, like, they're taught these things and it stays in them. And they're, you know, some people think that animals don't have memories, but they have memories. They remember things, good and bad. I remember I had a husky. Her name was Charlie. And way back in 2015, I was walking her and there was a rabbit behind the library next to where I used to walk her. She saw the rabbit. And I'm not kidding you, for the next 7 years that I lived in that place, every time we went by that library, she was looking for that rabbit. Like, she was. They have memories. They remember good things and they remember bad things that traumatize them. Animals have trauma, definitely. Everybody quiet. 1, 2, 3, 4 quads just drove by. It's springtime here in rural New Brunswick, so all the weekenders are up with their quads. And usually the dogs bark at them. I'm glad they didn't this time. Okay. Okay, where was I? Yeah, just like people, right, Melly? Yeah, I agree. I got more rhymes than there's cops at a Dunkin' Donut shop. I don't have the candor, right? I got more rhymes than a cop at a Dunkin' Donut shop. Quietly aligned. That's another stellar lyric. Oh, I'm not saying anything about him. But Everlast, he started doing some darker hip hop after, and it's really, really good. I love that. Yeah, I know I'm a smarty pants with my. Do you mean about the quick? The strawberry quick. So, guys, okay. What are you up to? It's Sunday for most of us here. Sunday evening. It's actually very nice outside. I had to close my curtains because it's very sunny out there and you wouldn't be able to see me with all the brightness, but I'm just gonna, oh, my house smells so good. I'm gonna have some of my soup. I'm gonna have some of my bread. I'm gonna try to get to bed early tonight because I have to train myself to get up early. The hospital is an hour and a half drive away on the highway. So I'll be doing at least 3 hours of driving when I go for the next appointment in a couple of days. And when I go that far, I have to make it worth it, especially now that the gas prices are so high. There's a Costco in that town. The town is called St. John in New Brunswick, and there's a Costco there. So I make sure that I do some grocery shopping whenever I go to St. John because I'm not going to go back and forth. It's just too long, and the dogs are alone too long. And, my appointment's at 10:30 in the morning, so I have to be gone to give myself enough time to find a parking spot. I have to be gone before 9 a.m. And that's hard for me because when I wake up, it takes me a while to get up. And then I take all the dogs out and I feed them and I do some dishes and, I have to get myself ready. So it takes me like 2 or 3 hours to get ready to go out these days. So I have to get up quite early. So I'm trying to get up earlier each day. And I have my shopping list ready. And actually, I want to tell you guys something. There is an older gentleman, and I say older, not that he's an old, senior citizen or anything. He's probably my age, so I guess I'm older. um, he he works at Costco, and the last time I was there, he totally flirted with me, and he said he wanted to be my personal shopper. So I was telling him what I needed, and he would walk with me and he would put it in my cart. And this was even before I broke my finger. This was like early March. And I've noticed him before because I go to that Costco. I've gone there for the last 4 years, and I've noticed him before, and I thought he was kind of cute. He looks kind of rock and roll. He's got like long curly hair, and you know he's very friendly and stuff like that. So every time I go to the hospital and I tell my friends I'm going to Costco after, they're like, "Oh, are you going to see Rock and Roll Eddie?" Because Eddie is a character in the TV show Stranger Things, who was part of the Hellfire Club. Had a crush on Eddie, the character in that TV show. So I thought this guy looked a little bit like Eddie. So we've named him Rock and Roll Costco Eddie. So not tomorrow or the next day, whenever I go to the hospital, I'm going to hit Costco and I'm going to see if I can see Rock and Roll Costco Eddie. So wish me luck on that one. I'm talking about flirting and stuff like that, but I'm nowhere near wanting to be in a relationship at this point. It's just fun. It makes you feel good. It boosts your ego a little bit. Let me check out this here. Oh, you just got breakfast. Breakfast. Jane, what time is it? Are you having brunch? What did he make you? Melly says, I'm busy taking care of my kiddos and spring cleaning. My daughter has a doctor appointment for a leg cast. Oh, what happened to your daughter? Oh, I hope she didn't break her leg. Oh my God. Okay, listen. The last time I broke a bone, I was a kid and I don't remember how much it hurt. But I got to tell you this thing, every day, every single day it hurts. I'm so sorry for your daughter. I hope she didn't hurt herself by breaking a bone. Oh my goodness. Yeah, quality align. Oh, maybe you will see Rock and Roll Eddie at Costco tomorrow. Yeah. So you've been listening to the live streams because how else could you know, right? I must have mentioned it before. Rock and Roll Eddie. Oh gosh. Melly says, good for you, though. Flirting is fun. Yeah, flirting is healthy and it's human. It is quietly aligned. It definitely is. Gas is $1.80 in Ontario. When I went out 2 weeks ago, it was $1.98 a liter, Blackjack. That's awful. It costs me $40 every time I go to St. John. So, I don't want to go there that often. Um, Actually, 2 weeks ago, when I saw Dr. Gorgeous Eyes, he wanted me to come back last week. And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. It costs $40 every time I come to St. John and back. Is there any way we can kind of stretch it out? But you're the doctor. You tell me if I have to come back every week, I will. I didn't want him to think I was being cheap about gas and my health and all that stuff. I don't know why I was thinking that. And so he said, okay, we can actually wait 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. I prefer to know that. And he was honest. He's like, I don't want you to stress about money for gas, and that's true. And one of the nurses was telling me when it comes to doing the hand therapy, because I'm going to have to do therapy for my finger, she's like, it'll be probably 2 or 3 times a week. And I didn't say anything, but I'm like, there's no way I'm spending 120 on gas every week to do hand therapy. Let's do this by Zoom, or just tell me what I have to do and I'll do it at home. Can't do that. Yeah, gas is very expensive, but you know what? Everything is a cycle, right? Everything is a cycle. Things are going to get better. Things get worse. Things get better. We got through the pandemic. Everything is going well. I remember when I moved here in 2020, I bought my house during COVID, and gas prices were 80 cents a liter. And I had to drive from the Laurentian Mountain area to central New Brunswick with a U-Haul towing my car in the back. And I was worried about the cost, actually. But at that point during COVID, it was 80 cents a liter. So I got here really cheap. And I'm really grateful for that. But now the cycle is up. We're $1 more than it was before. So Blackjack. Oh gosh. All right, guys. You know what? I'm starting to wilt a little bit, and my finger's hurting. So I think I need to go and put my hand up. Wish me luck for my doctor's appointment this week, and I'll let you guys know what happens next week. And thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And it's always fun to connect with people, and people pop in and out. And I'm so happy for everyone who popped in today. Really happy. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday evening and you have a great week ahead. And if you're feeling angry, take a breath. Just take a breath. Do the 30-second rule. Wait 30 seconds before you react, and think about during that time how you can make a wiser decision. And don't be impulsive. We don't want to be impulsive ever. So thank you so much, Quietly Line. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to end the live stream. Take care. Sending lots of love to you. Tap, tap. See you next week.